B of Transform Your Body Fitness. I'm a physical therapist and a fitness coach. Today, I've got a pro tip for you. Too many people are not taking care of their forearms, wrists, and hands, and even their fingers. So I'm going to give you some tips and some quick exercises on how to address those areas to keep these areas functional, healthy, strong, and stretched out. Because here's the thing. We live our lives on our computers, our cell phones. You know, this is what's happening, and you're putting your hands in some awkward positions, you're doing repetitive motions. All of these things lead to pain, tightness, and actually weakness. So I'm going to give you a couple of things that you can easily do. Grab a squishy ball, doesn't matter what kind it is. And what's happening, even though you're seeing me going like this and I'm using my fingers, if you were to take your hand and put it on your forearm, you could feel it come up. So what's happening, even though I'm working my hands and fingers, and you can even say your wrist, you're really working also the muscles. The muscle comes from here, the muscle belly of the forearm. All right, so just this one exercise, you're working several different areas of that whole upper arm complex that I'm talking about. All right, now you can also kind of reverse the grip a little bit and work the fingers. Kind of do each individual one. All right. And that's all very helpful. So, you know, for each of us, we're going to do it different lengths of time. You may want to time yourself to do it a minute. You may want to do it at commercials. Just doing it is going to help. So whether you do it a set of 10, 2 sets of 10, all of it, no matter what you decide is your baseline, and kind of just keep working it on a daily type of a basis, I think is worthwhile. Now, if you also have a physio ball, I'm going to give you some things to do with that. We can do it with and without, but let me just show you with the physio ball. Grab it and put your body behind it. You're putting your hands in a position like this, and you're having your fingers point backwards. See if I can do an angle like that so you can kind of see. And basically what I'm doing, I'm rolling the ball so I'm getting a phenomenal stretch all in here. I'm also stretching in front of the wrist. Okay, now what I want to also do is reverse it. So I had a position like this. Now we're going to do a position like this. And basically you can start with just your fingers resting on the ball, and your upper part of the wrist is up, and then you roll the ball so that it's like this. And you can hold that position. And you just roll it back and forth. Clyde just joined us. He's my workout buddy today. Hi, Clyde. Okay. And then you can just roll it back and forth. Now, that same idea, you can basically kind of do with your hands like this. And again, hold it. You know, you just don't want to just do it like this. You want to hold it for, I would say, a good 20 to 30 seconds. And then what you're going to do, just similar to what I just did with the ball, to kind of reverse that. This is phenomenal if you have carpal tunnel or the beginnings of carpal tunnel, or if you want to prevent carpal tunnel. And then you take your hands like this. These are awkward, but you know what? You're going to feel it. And that's what's the beneficial thing, is that you're feeling that kind of, there's a slight burn. Now some people obviously are like, I don't want to feel a burn. This is what your body needs in order to prevent different injuries. And again, hold it for a good 20 to 30 seconds. And afterwards, you know, you kind of have to let the energy out of there. So you're doing different circles. even finger flicks. Now I want to go back to the ball for a second. What I showed you, those original 2 moves were more like stretches. Now I'm going to put a little weight into it. See what I'm doing? So this would be more strengthening, whereas the previous 2 moves on the ball were more stretching. And it's really working that whole complex of the forearm, the wrist, the hands, the fingers. Okay? Now, you don't want to forget the fingers. So, you want to pull. Sometimes you might get a little crack or a pop. Don't freak out. It's just a release of tension. Even what you want to do, take your hand in this position and go like this. And really let the tension, because you have individual muscles actually in your hands, the front and the back. So you really want to stretch those fingers out. You know what I'm finding? Not only are there common injuries in these areas, because like I said, of it being on the computer and cell phones, but what I find is that a lot of people, when they go, for example, to do yoga, they find that they can't do some of the positions that your hands have to be on the ground, and to kind of lift your body up. Like there's a pose called crow, or even if you're interested in some of the advanced arm balance type of poses, a lot of people feel you have to have arm strength. I'm not going to say you don't. There's a certain amount that you certainly do, but a lot of that actually comes from having a strong forearm, wrist, and hand. So these are the kind of things you want to work on that. In addition, like even golf comes from a lot of the wrist and the hand. So a lot of these exercises are helpful in your peak performance in sports, but even functionally, like if you're twisting, you're reaching up high and you're having to twist a light bulb, different things like that. So even, just that whole thing I was using with the ball, and you're going like this, if you're using individual fingers, or if you do the whole thing. So remember some of these tips. Some of it is just to prevent injury. Some of it is if you have an injury, you're trying to relieve some of the pain, and you're trying to be able to get your function back. Sometimes these exercises are very helpful in peak performance for sports and just living everyday life. So I hope you take me up on my tips, and have a great day, everybody.